Hello folks and welcome to this video. This is my preseason predictions video for the NASCAR Cup Series. This is me just trying to have a guess at, well, 26 things I think might happen in 2026. And I'm also going to make my chase predictions in this video as well. For a sense of scale, I ended up getting, 7 wrong last year out of 25. And when it came to the playoffs, I got 4 of them wrong for the actual ones who'd make it to the playoffs. It fell apart very quick when the playoffs themselves actually started. I missed 2 of the championship 4, for example. But without further ado, let's get right in, shall we? And we'll start off my broad predictions. I got this one right last year. Unfortunately, I'm going to double up for this year. I reckon viewership will go down on average year on year. I think I've made this every year that I've made NASCAR predictions, and unfortunately it's been right most times. I reckon there'll be at least 12 different winners in the Cup Series this season. During the chase, I reckon that 6 chase drivers will win. No more, no less. That's going to be a tricky one. I reckon at least 1 non-chase driver will win during the 10 race chase and Cup. I reckon that no more than 1 guest driver, so 1 or 0, will get a top 5 in 2026. In 2025, Jimmy Johnson got, 3rd in the Daytona 500? Could be that. It could be something else. I reckon we'll only have 1 in the top 5. And to round down my broad predictions, I reckon Ram will win at least 3 truck races. Now my next 6 are predictions that are for championships. Number 7 then. The champion won't win the Clash or All-Star race. I think I've gotten that right the last couple of years. I reckon Penske won't be champions in Cup. I had that last year and I got it. I'm going to have it this year as well. I know Logano even numbered seasons, but he's probably the driver that managed to play the playoff format the best. Blaney, I would say, is going to be the best Penske driver, but even then, I don't think he'll go for a championship run. For number 9, I reckon there'll be at least 1 returning champion in the top 3 series. And for number 10, I'll be guessing there'll be at least 1 new champion in the top 3 series. For number 11, I reckon it'll be at least 1 first-timer for a postseason in the Cup chase. It could be like Connor Silich, for example, as a rookie. And to wrap this prediction up, this set of predictions, number 12, I reckon at least 2 manufacturers won't win top 3 series titles, including Ram. So it could be like Ram and Ford, for instance. I mean, last year I had a bunch of wild ones, including that 1 manufacturer would miss at least 1 postseason Final Four appearance. Yeah, and I got that with Ford in Cup and Xfinity. For my 2027 predictions, I reckon that at least 1 more full-time rider will have part-time drivers. I got that wrong last year. I think we actually went in the opposite direction. For number 14, I reckon 1 veteran driver will announce their full-time or a full retirement from Cup. For number 15, I think at least 1 driver will go from ARCA to Xfinity or from Trucks to Cup. They'll skip a series on their way up the ladder. For number 16, I'm going to say that Auto Club won't return for 2027. And for number 17, unfortunately, the same for Rockingham. And number 18, I don't know how successful the 250th anniversary of America race for 4th of July weekend in San Diego will be, but unfortunately I have a feeling that this race that's on an army base will be a one-hit wonder. My final 8 will be absolute wildcard ones. I reckon at least 1 driver will drive for 2 different manufacturers in the top 3 series. I reckon there'll also be a 5-week run in the Cup where you have unique winners. So Byron, Bell, Blaney, Briscoe, Buescher. If it ends up being the 5 Bs, that would be interesting. For number 21, I reckon at least 2 regular season winners won't make the chase because there's no longer winning you're in. It could be, an Austin Dillon, for instance. Could even be that it doubles up with my one-off for or my guest drivers, my non-chartered drivers who will go on to get a top 5 will end up being a race winner, a la SVG. I reckon as well, at least one championship, the top 3 will be won before Homestead, and at the same time, it won't be Cup, because at least 3 drivers will be in Cup contention before Homestead. Now, obviously, those aren't tied together. If Cup does get one before Homestead, I get one for number 22, and I don't get one for number 23. I reckon a charter will get sold in Cup. I also reckon for number 25 that NASCAR will sell a stake in itself. It's been rumoured for a while. And for my final wildcard prediction, I reckon at least one chase driver will have been injured at some point during 2026. I'm including Brad Keselowski in this one, who maybe, I think he is missing the Clash, isn't he, because of an injury picked up in the off-season. And now it's time for me to make my chase predictions. Here are the 16 drivers I reckon are going to make the chase in the Cup Series. Start off with the defending champion Kyle Larson. I don't really need to say much more. Look at how much he wins and how little he DNFs. Likewise, Denny Hamlin. That was a massive regular season run last year. I know that Larson had the stats to be the rightful champion at the end of the year, and he probably would have been under this format as well. But Hamlin had a great run. I reckon he makes the chase. Chase Elliott. Yeah. I mean, talk about consistency. Was it Richmond was his first DNF on the year last year? William Byron, he didn't win much last year, but he did have the pace. He did have the ability. To make it a full return for last year's Championship 4, Chase Briscoe. Yeah, I have a feeling the Briscoe will improve in that 19 on last year's Championship 4 run. Christopher Bell, who has been so close to the Championship for the last couple of years, I reckon that he will benefit from this change to a 10 race chase. Ryan Blaney, I reckon, will make it. And with that, all 3 manufacturers will make the chase in Cup. For SVG, I'm not too sure, but I am going to pick his 2 Trackhouse teammates, Chastain and Zilic. I reckon that SVG would pop up as maybe one of the people who would win either in the chase or be one of the winners that doesn't make the chase. But Zilic has been remarkably consistent, and that rookie is going to learn quick in Cup. Joey Logano, I reckon, will make it, as will Brad Keselowski and Chris Buescher. I don't have anything in particular against Ryan Preece. I know some people like the Iceberg and Eric Estep are saying they would put Preece as their pick, or potentially even as their lead RFK car, but I have a feeling that Keselowski will continue the form they ended last season with, and I think that Buescher's actually the strongest of the RFK cars at the moment. I reckon we'll see Tyler Reddick and Bubba Wallace. Wallace, I think, had the measure of Reddick last year, but I would say that Reddick is probably the driver that has the higher ceiling. I think there was an off-season last season for 25. I think he'll come back swinging in 26. And to round out the list, I have to pick a Spire car. I feel like I have to, and I'm going to pick Carson Hocevar. Nothing against Suarez, nothing against McDowell. The Hocevar was there or thereabouts quite a lot last year. It was just various things in the late race that meant that he didn't get any results that he, I would say, deserved. And for this last one, I reckon that he'll be a race winner anyways and end the winless streak, even though RCR have just struggled the past couple of years. I'm going to go with Kyle Busch. I have a feeling. I don't know what kind of feeling, but a feeling. Anyways, folks, those are my thoughts, feelings. Those are my predictions. Let me know any of yours in the comment section down below. We will check in at the end of the regular season, and I will try to make my 10 race chase ranking from that. But yeah, do feel free to play along yourself. Thanks for watching, and until next time, it's bye-bye for now.